everyone, welcome back to Painting with Jay. It's an old series that I used to do, I started a long time ago, and I'm going to continue doing it. So I asked you people out there in YouTube land, to give me an idea of what army I should paint. I'm going to give myself a 1,000-point painting challenge. And I asked you to vote, and the votes are in, and the winner is orcs. Orcs are the winner. It was unanimous. Now I thought, no, it wasn't unanimous. Sorry, it was, a good amount of votes. But in the end, I was actually quite surprised. I thought that the winner was going to be Grey Knights. A lot of the early votes were Grey Knights, and now it's orcs. So it's gonna be fun. So I'm painting 1,000 points of orcs. I left my drink inside. Oops. And so basically, I have to paint 1,000 points of orcs. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try my best. If I fail, I fail, but I'm going to try. I'm going to go down swinging. I think I'll be able to do it. But there's a lot of boys. In fact, I'm going to paint more boys than I thought originally. And then I'm going to cut off points elsewhere. Because I realize I have so many boys that need painting. That are just sub-painted. And so here, I'm going to give you here we go. I'm going to move it over. Sorry, I'm just going to... Here, it's a little messy. I apologize for my desk. Here are all the boys. That is not a boy. That's a model that I did for a recent Miniature Painting 101. So here are all the boys that I am painting. Those are Eldar Dark Reapers that I did for some Miniature Painting 101s as well. But as you can see, here are all those boys. Now I got to organize my desk, and I agree, I got to organize it. It's a little chaotic right now. But yeah, and so today I've been painting. This is later in the day. I've already painted up to completion 6 orc boys. One of them I already put into the house, and then where's the other one? Right here. And they're all painted. So I'm gonna start bringing them to the house one by one. But there's still another like 40. I think it's 35 more. So that's pretty crazy. And I'm gonna just try to paint. My goal is 6 or 7 a day. Each day. This guy's almost done as well. And then that way I can just that keeps a good pace, and at this rate I should be done within a week. I should easily have these guys done, and I can get on to the next thing. I'm also going to be painting this war boss. He's going to be in there in the challenge. I'm going to be painting a warped, or weird boy, sorry, he's in the challenge, and just some other things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to just move the camera now to the table, and I'll just set that there. That way you guys can see what I'm working on at a time. And I'll just paint and talk, and yeah, you guys don't need to really see my face, because I think it'd be more interesting to see what I'm painting, as opposed to me just ranting, and I'd prefer you guys just see my hands and me working than see my face. So yeah, so I'm working on these orcs, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited, because this painting challenge, regardless of what army you guys chose, I am going to, and I'll also be telling you what colors I'm using. This is just Draken of Nightshade, just to bring out the blue. I paint a body part of each orc blue, because I do depth skulls, and then I just do a quick, Draken of Nightshade to it, and that's how it dries. It comes out nicely. So he's done. And I'll do a basing later for him. So he's in great shape. So that marks number 7 that I've done today. Not bad at all. Not bad. It might quickly refocus and stuff. So tonight, I'm going to work on these guys here, and it's actually kind of fun, because painting these guys is bringing back the memories. It's been a long time since I painted orcs, so I've had to go back to my old paints, and surprisingly the paints are actually still good. Like most of them, not unfortunately my old brown, Caliban brown or whatever it's called is gone, but my Morden blue is still great, my Khemri brown is still great, so that's good. And so these guys, I'm going to start painting them tonight. And as you can see, they've been started. The skin's been painted. I painted all the skin, and I've painted all the blues have been painted, I believe. Maybe not. So what I like to do is, I like to batch paint, but on a slightly smaller scale. I'm not going to paint all 40 of these guys in one big batch paint. That would drive me nuts. And that's not a way to keep ahead of the game. I'm inspecting the colors. So this guy could use a little bit more Mordion blue. This guy's good. So we'll start with Mordion blue, and we'll work our way towards the other colors. So I'm going to paint a small batch at a time for today, just talking to you all. This will be like a little vlog. Feel free to listen in the background. And I'll be using Mordion blue, as I mentioned, give it a good shake, put some of my palette, because I love to paint using a palette. Right now my makeshift palette is sitting in my lap because I'm silly. That's it, you know. And that's it. That's what the series is going to be about, and I'm going to do weekly updates or maybe bi-weekly updates. And I'm going to paint and show you guys my progress, and it's going to be cool. I'm excited. You know, as I said, it brings back some good memories. I'm just using a cheap, you know, base coating brush. And I wonder where the focus is of this. Maybe I should set the focus to about here. Yeah, it'll be okay. So, yeah, I'm going to manually set the focus because if I don't, it's going to get really... There we go. So he's going about here. That's easy way of doing this. Put your thumb right there. Set it to your thumb. There you go. That's what you guys, if you have, you know, if you're new to using a camera with an auto, with a manual focus option, put your finger there, exactly where you want it, and set the camera. So, I should probably talk about something today, but I really didn't prepare this. As I said, this is just a new series I wanted to do because I want to get stuff painted, you know? And I'm going to even let you guys in on a little secret while I'm doing this. So I was looking for what I want to paint. Like, I was opening up all these boxes, looking for models, because I have so many models that I need painted. So many. And I found an army that I painted a long time ago for a tournament and my friend, and he doesn't need it or anything, so I have another studio army. And I realized completely forgot about it. Completely forgot about it. So that's going to be fun. And just so you guys know, it's Necrons. So I have 2,000 points easily, Necrons, in this room right now. Probably closer to 3. No, about 2,000, I think. About 2,000 easy. So there'll be a new studio army. So more Diamond Blue's done on him. I'll put him in the back, and so the rest of them are good for more Diamond Blue. So I'll just wash off my brush. So that's cool. So, but they're going to take a little bit of building. Unfortunately, they're pretty broken up. So it will take a little bit of time. Probably by the end of this month, maybe I'll try to have the Necrons as well, besides these Orc boys painted up. And that would be awesome, because then I could bring in Necrons into it, you know, 5th army. Technically a 6th, because I do play Goskull a supplement, but it's Orcs. Obviously, it's Orcs. So now we're going to bring in our Khemri Brown, which is still in existence for some reason. I can't believe this paint stayed. I'm going to have to use some thinner, just because it got a little thick. And I'm going to just thin it down to a nice consistency. You can see here, I'm just mixing it in my palette. As I said, this will be a good series, just listen in the background. This will not be like, ooh, keep an eye on Jay, because no one can see me anyway. But it's cool. I'm excited. This challenge is going to be cool, because any excuse for me to actually get my armies painted, it's good. You know, so many people forget about the painting. And the awesome feeling you get when you finish painting a model, it's just, you know, great. So next we'll do him, because he's the only one who doesn't have the Khemri Brown body. And I'm pretty messy whenever I paint my works, because I always clean them up later with a later color. In this case, it'll be the Mornfang Brown that I use on all the leather, is typically my cleanup color, as I call it, where I will, you know, clean up all the things. I make sure not to paint over the parts I've already painted over, obviously. I just am not too worried about painting over the parts I've not. There we go. So he's looking good. And I'll paint his little, say loincloth or something, but in front of his clothes. I do a very simple color scheme when I paint my orcs, because orcs, you can go, you know, to town on them. I just don't, because I have 140 boys, and I think my standard is not bad at all. Like, I think it's definitely above, you know, normal tabletop, or maybe it's basically tabletop standard, you know. But everyone's tabletop standard is slightly different. Like, when I used to work at Mini Wargaming, there was another orc army painted by Dan, and Dan's orcs, he called them tabletop as well, and I called mine tabletop. But his orcs didn't have eyes painted, teeth painted. You know, they were basically 3-color minimum. So there he goes. So he's good. So he's done now too. Everyone's up to date. I'm going to take the remaining amount that I have here and just paint up another guy, because I just mixed up this paint, so I don't want to waste it. It's not good to waste paint. I like to keep paint not wasted, you know. So I'm going to make him, this knob here, have the same color. I got a couple of these guys secondhand. So some of them require some painting. And there, as I said, there's going to be like 40 boys in this pile at least. I think it's 45 boys. So that alone is 250 points. More than that, it's almost 300 points, because there's 2 knobs with power claws and everything. And so this is basically 300 points of my challenge that I'm going to try to accomplish in the first week. I'm not trying to divide by models. I'm trying to divide by workload, actually, again, over the 4 weeks. Not points, because points are very different. I don't have a battle wagon, but 1 battle wagon week will almost as many points as this entire thing. So I'm just going to paint by amount of time I think will take me to, I'll divide it by that way. I think I can do this many guys in the first week. And there we go. So he's done. Good. Anybody else needs their Khemri Brown? The other knob. So, yeah, and that's what I like to do for batch painting. Other than what I'm doing right now, I just mixed up too much paint, and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to paint the shirts to make sure all the other guys have their Khemri Brown up to date. And as a very simple color scheme, I use base coats. And when I used to paint these, it was back when the old foundation colors existed for the Citadel range. So I used to just use foundation colors and then give 1 Agrax Earthshade, or back then it was called Devlin Mud. And then that's it. And it went together well, other than the skin. I focused a lot on the skin, because to me the orc skin is just where the attention should be set. It looks so cool. The detail of these orc boys and knobs is all great. I used to play orcs way back when in 2nd edition, Rogue Trader days, and the orcs were really really puny. They didn't have much detail to them. Their arms were very bony. But when I came back to orcs in late 4th, there we go. They looked awesome. The detail in them was just exquisite, and they're big and muscular now, like this guy. So that's pretty cool. So he's done. Who else should I paint? So I'm already going pretty sideways, as you can see. But as long as I'm painting, right? As long as my brush is on a model, I'm not wasting time. Because this is a painting challenge. And I have a month. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, I think. So I have about a month. And I'm excited. I really want to get these orc boys painted. And them on the table in battle reports and everything. I'm gonna slowly wean myself off the Canwall list that I frequently play, because I play it so much and I love it. Canwall is by far my favorite list, but I'm gonna want to bring variation. So I'm gonna bring up the Green Tide. I'm gonna bring other lists, Green Tide list. I'm gonna bring. I brought not bikers, but that's better with Goskal Thraka's supplement, because you're already required to take an elite, I believe. So, and also if you decide to give, I really want to try bringing that. I want to create a Big Mac model eventually on a bike, and give it that custom force field, and that way the Knob bikers would have a moving 4-up invol. And the reason why I say 4-up, not 5-up, is because the Goskal Thraka supplement has access to a 4-up invol custom force field. And so your non-bikers would be flying around the table with a 4-up invol, and they don't ever need to jink, and they'd be in amazing shape, you know. And armies that ignore cover won't be able to hurt them, because you'd say, who cares? It's not cover safe. It's an invol. Yeah. Orcs, of course, are an interesting faction right now. They are, they're an interesting faction because they're very close combat oriented, but they're not. It's not. The game isn't about close combat. In 7th edition, 7th edition's about shooting. You know, and obviously it does have a close combat phase, the assault phase, and everything, but it's still very centered on shooting. The fact that you still remove models from the front, and Overwatch alone, you know, really make this game about shooting. Because my opponent will now can shoot me and then shoot me again, and then possibly shoot me a third time before I get an assault with them, every time whittling down the guys in front and not letting me get into close combat. And when I finally get into close combat, I don't have a lot of guys. And orcs especially, orcs are kind of the biggest, other than maybe Dark Eldar in my opinion, orcs are kind of the newest glass hammer faction. Because they'll hit really hard, especially if they get the assault, because then like these guys get 4 attacks on the charge, and they have +1 strength due to furious charge. But then if you hit them, they die because they only have a 6-up save, and there's no such thing as like an orc invol in close combat. So they die. They just die on droves, you know. And even non-bikers, they die very easily. You know, they're very glass hammer. So you have to be very careful with them. So I ran out of the brown paint, so I'll keep going with these guys. And it's like out of focus because its focus is like here. But so now the next step that I do on these boys is going to be using Wargaming Brown. So I'll add a little bit to my palette. This is cool. Rarely people get to watch me actually paint. You know, in my tutorials, it's sped up, you know, a good amount. Usually go twice the speed. And obviously my tutorials now are pretty much only my paid channel, The Warp. But I am keeping my miniature painting 101 eventually. They'll be, you know, they're free. The Warp people get a free preview. Because, yeah, I said so. Yeah, this painting challenge is exciting to me because, as I said, like when I worked for Mini Wargaming, I didn't have much time to paint my models because I spent all my time either doing battle reports for them or driving, and that's the one thing I really don't miss. I miss Mini Wargaming a lot. Well, sometimes I miss them a good amount. You know, they're a good group of guys. I wish them nothing but the best, and Matt and I still exchange emails every now and then, and I try to keep up with Dave and how he's doing stuff. I think he had a great time filming that movie that he was in recently. So, yeah. And Matt supports what I do, and you know, I don't see them as competition. They don't see me as competition. We are technically competition, the fact that we both produce videos. And now we both have paid content, but it's okay. The niche is big enough. So here we go. He's got his boots painted, and things are good. You know, I miss those guys. I really do. I don't miss the drive, to be honest. I really do not miss the commute. I used to commute to Mini Wargaming. It would be an hour and a half on a good day, but more often than not, it wouldn't be a good day. You know, in the last winter, it sometimes took 3 hours to get to work. Oh, got caught on me. And 3 hours just not a really good commute time. So when my wife got this awesome job offer in Peterborough, sorry, I'm just gonna put that down for a second. When my wife got the awesome job, it's kind of getting clunky on my brush. So when my wife got the awesome job offer in Peterborough, I realized I would have to leave mini wargaming because it would be like a 4-hour commute in traffic. It would be 4 hours each way to mini wargaming, and that's just a little too much. And unfortunately, we couldn't get something to work on remote, so it's okay. I wish them nothing but the best. But I don't miss the commute. That's the one thing I don't miss about mini wargaming was the commute. Yeah, but it has forced me, going off my own, it's forced me to really grow, I'd say, as a painter. And because it's really forced me to rely on myself again. You know, I'm not just doing battle reports for mini wargaming, I'm doing battle reports for me. And it's given me a chance to reevaluate what I like in my videos. It's given me a chance to, first of all, I finally got to return to my painting. And through Miniature Painting 101, by launching the Warp. Obviously, this isn't just a commercial for the Warp. You know, feel free to check it out if you want. If not, no problem. I understand. But I've grown so much as a painter over the last few months because I've gotten back into it. It was nice. It's really nice to get back into things. And also the feeling when you make a video for yourself, it feels better. I don't know why. It feels definitely different than making a video for mini wargaming. And it really does. It feels better. It feels really cool seeing the exact, and it really does. It forces you to. It forces you to look at what's good and what isn't about your videos because you rely then on the income generated by them. My biggest issue in Peterborough has been that I've been having issues. Finding battle report opponents, but I think that problem will be solved in the very near future. I'm starting to integrate myself into the community. I just had a problem with Mondays, and that was the only night I could. And actually, I went down to the local store on a Monday before, twice. Both times I went must have been just the weekends, the weeks that, coincidentally no one went. And it was very quiet. I think I was the only one there for a good chunk of time. And then one person came to look at Magic cards. So, now apparently there's a huge gaming group going, and they know about me. And when I walked in, the guy's like, "Jay!" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're here." I said, "Yeah, I'm here." Cool story. But, yeah. I should get topics on what to talk about. And I hope Owen's okay. My friend Owen has moved recently. He moved to Alberta, which is pretty far away. Hope he's okay. I'm trying to get a hold of him. So he's done. Good. Let's start the leather on the next guy. He's knocked down. I knock down models a lot. You'll notice that in my videos that I knock down models frequently when I'm painting because I just do. I'm a bit clumsy like that. Yeah. So now the leather on him. And I'm just using one brush for these guys. I can basically get away with these guys just using a single brush and painting them up. I like them though. Orcs, I have tons of boys. And when I found out that Orcs won, I wasn't upset by any means because I had 40 boys that needed painting. I probably even have more. I just only found 40 my first look, 45 or whatever the number is. So, but this is cool. I'm excited to get these guys painted. It really will feel amazing whenever they're on the table. And plus, I need to whittle down the number of models in my house that's unpainted, because I have so many unpainted models, and I just don't like that, and I'm a painter by all means, and I'm not really into commission painting anymore, I was for a long time. About a year and a half I did commissions, and I don't know if that's a long time, but I only worked at Mini Wargaming for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I don't do it anymore because I don't have time right now, and I just don't feel that, I was raised that don't do something unless you think you can do it right. My father really instilled those values in me, and he taught me that don't do things unless you think you can do them right. And once I realized I didn't have the time for commission painting, I basically finished off those commissions and stopped accepting new clients. And then the website's even gone now because I didn't want to maintain the cost. It's like $350 a year or something just for the website. I just didn't have the money. I'm getting my production company off the ground. So, what was I saying? Yeah, but I don't have time. Right now I'm going to paint my models because I could probably do a 1,000-point challenge every month for the next year, and I probably won't run out of models. Probably not. I think I have at least 2,000 points of unpainted orcs. So that's 2 months worth. I have at least, I think, 2,000 points of unpainted Grey Knights. No, about 1,000. No, at least 1,000. Probably 1,500. For Dark Angels, I usually have about 1,500. For Tyranids, a few thousand probably. There we go. He's all done. Leather looks good. Good. So he's all done. Another orc. Done. So next guy. What else? I'm just excited about life. I really am. As I said, I really do miss mini wargaming sometimes. I really do. The camaraderie and just Dave and I I had so much fun with Dave. Not anything against Matt. Matt's a good guy too. But Dave and Matt are very opposite people. And obviously with my personality, I really got along well with Dave because Dave and I would just have fun and improv in his videos and stuff, and we had a good time. It was both Matt and Dave are really good guys, and Dave would say he's a good guy that likes people. But yeah, they were just good guys. I miss them. If I'm ever in the area, I definitely want to go film a battle report with them. I'm gonna add some more paint to my palette now. Oops. I just added paint to a palette section that already had a different color paint. So I'm going to add more to my palette now. Way to waste paint. So, yeah, I do miss them. They're, good guys. Working for them, I learned a good amount, I'd say. I learned a lot, about video making in general. I was a YouTuber. Now, people don't know about this, or many people don't know about this because I wasn't very popular before I started working at Mini Wargaming, but I was a YouTuber. I made painting tutorials, and that's actually how I got the job at Mini Wargaming, was that Dave one day found a painting tutorial of mine online. I think it was a Necron painting tutorial, and thought I did such a good job, and he really liked my voice that he offered me a job. He emailed me one day and said, "Hey, would you like to come work for us?" I never applied. At the time, I was actually in school. I was doing my PhD, which I got to stop talking about that in general because it's a long time in the past. But I was doing my PhD. I was really, really down in the dumps, I'd say. I was miserable at my PhD. It was not fun. Science to me was not fun at the time. So, and before that I was a zookeeper. So, but so I decided to take the job. And I went and worked for Mini Wargaming. And I never looked back. It was a great time in my life, and I'm so happy that I did it. And yeah, and now that I'm not, it feels weird sometimes. You know, I got used to going to work every day over there, or at least a few times a week. But yeah, I love the fact that since then, like since I've left mini wargaming, now that I have a bit of the recognition from working there, obviously, and a lot of the skills have been updated. Like for me, I feel like I'm a better video maker after leaving mini wargaming, and yeah, you know, I wish them nothing but the best. And I think they're good. I'm not really concerned, to be honest. They've grown to the point now where they're huge, is the better wording. They're not going anywhere. They're huge. They're here to stay. They're yeah. You know, I'm very confident that they are going to take over the world of miniature wargaming, or if I think they already have, to be honest. So that's great stuff. And he's all done. Look at that. Another color done. Oh, I forgot to paint his little straps. So they are gold. I think they're in good shape. You know, they are in very good shape. Dave is also building an army as we speak, as well. He's building a Space Wolf army, and of course, the way he builds armies is slightly different from me. I'm pretty sure he just bought all the models and he's getting them commission painted, which is also a very viable option these days. But there we go. He's all done. So, another one done. Next one, we'll start his colors. So he's, I think, doing like 6,000, 6 or 7,000, like thousands upon thousands of points of Space Wolves. So he'll have a giant Space Wolf army in no time. Sorry, my arm just keeps straggling to my right. And all I do at the end is I paint the leather, the Mournfang brown. It used to be a different brown. It was like Caliban brown or something. I forgot the name, but it was a different brown. The old school foundation color brown. It wasn't Khemri. I paint the brown, and then I will go and paint all the metal parts model with bolt gun metal. And then all I do is then hit it with shade. An Agrax Earth Shade used to be called a Devlin Mud, and it ends up being this. And that's the final version. Like, it makes it look awesome. Gives it detail, darkens that blue, makes them tabletop worthy. And that's my secret. You know, I'm not orcs. I wish I could go to a higher standard, but when you have this many boys, I can't. You know, if the Grey Knights won the vote, I would have actually gone to it. You know, my Grey Knights are a much higher standard. I've won actually best painted at a tournament before with my Grey Knights, and I've won before with my Tyranids. Orcs, people just say my army looks cool, but it's very much a tabletop, you know, standard. To me, it's my definition of tabletop. What else? Warp is doing well. My paid YouTube channel. It does anger people, and I understand. You know, I understand why, but I need to do it so that I can survive in this niche and do it as a job. You know, if I worked, I'd have to get mini wargaming views a month to basically live. You know, I know how much money they make because I used to work with them. And yeah, I'd have to get like their views a month, or almost their views a month, just to live off the YouTube income. So that's pretty hard to do. So I decided to go with a paid channel as well. And I know a lot of other people have done that at the same time. Like Beasts of War have their behind the scenes. Awesome Paint Job has his Patreon, I believe it's called, and Buy Painted as well. And each of us offer, you know, various benefits and stuff. Like Buy Painted is solely painting tutorials. Mine's a mix. Some, you know, battle reports, and Patreon, you just support the guy, and then the videos eventually become public. You get to see him first. So. Cool. Each one has its own, and it's unfortunate that our niche is so small that we that we can't live off the income. You know, it's unfortunate because there's the talent. You know, and the amount of, like, the mainstream people, they don't spend that much more time on a video than we do. In fact, many of the vloggers spend little or no time on their videos after editing. And, you know, I've seen how much work Dave will put into a single life of a wargamer. And and I know how much that it will make, because it will only get a certain number of views, and it's like, oh my goodness. But it's so, like, in some of the videos, the talent that he puts into those videos and the amount of work and dedication, and like he tries some very creative approaches. It's a little disheartening sometimes not seeing Dave's, or, you know, whoever does its work not being rewarded. And I'm not saying income is the only way of rewarding it. No, but it's a good way of supporting that video. You know, if it made money, then he can make more, because it makes money and justifies him doing it. Because obviously Matt and Dave have to, you know, they're running a business and they can only do what makes income in the end. So, but yeah. By the way, people, if you want me to talk in a future video, because I'm going to keep doing this, it may not be every week for every month, but I'm going to keep doing this at least when I'm doing painting challenges. So it'll be frequent. Leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you want me to talk about. Are there any things you're really curious about? Anything about me in particular? My life, my experiences, my miniature wargaming fascinations, my armies, an army in particular, orcs, Tyranids, Dark Angels. You know, tomorrow is the big Dark Eldar Codex release, and it's nice seeing Dark Eldar getting a little love. It seems like the new updates are going to just be very quick, no new models, or at least maybe a couple new kits updates. Like Grey Knights didn't get anything. They got a new box set that contained all the same models they had before, and they got smaller in an army. So they really, for an update for them, I don't mind it. It's a good codex. Like, it's not a terrible codex by any means, but it's not that insanely different from the old one. And the leather's done on that one. And once we finish this one, I'll probably call it a day, because we're already at like 40 minutes, and I can only talk for so long. I see the word "and" a lot. I know. What else? Battle reports are going well. I like the J versus J style is actually being liked, because I really like making battle reports for you guys. I really do. But sometimes I just can't find an opponent. You know, my schedule right now is not amazing. It is very busy, and I work 2 jobs so that I can, you know, I work a second job so that I can make videos so much. And my wife and I have a day set aside for us, and then we see each other then. We spend a lot of time together on that day. I don't work on miniature wargaming at all that day, but we're busy. We're both very busy people, because she loves her new job, but it keeps her very busy, and I love my job. I don't ever want to stop making videos for you guys. You know, if I would love it if I could just quit my other job. Eventually, my goal is just to quit my other job and make videos. I would love that. I would be the happiest person ever. And I wouldn't care, you know, as long as I can make an income. It doesn't have to be a lot. Minimum wage. Just so that it's a job, and if I make minimum wage, it's a justifiable job. I would be the happiest person on the face of the earth. You know, I'm happy. Every day that every time I make a video for you guys, I am happy. Really. The feeling that you get when you finish a video and you upload it and people like it, you know, it's just, it's insurmountable. It really is. It's so hard to compare, because you work so hard on it, and then people like it, and especially my area where a lot of it's painting, or, you know, like my battle reports I find are entertaining, so people are entertained and I'm happy, or they learn something and that makes me happy too. And when people tell me how much my videos have meant to them, it makes me so happy. It really does. When I was at Gen Con, and Adepticon even, but Gen Con especially, and Adepticon, both of them, I was just overwhelmed with at both of them, that the amount of thanks and just amazing people I met that told me that I meant something to them because of my videos. and he's done too. Excuse me. So it's amazing. It's hard to describe, because yeah, it's hard to describe. Maybe I'll keep painting the metal. How long are we in? We're in 40 minutes. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? Oh, I've already to paint him. His little headband. So I'm gonna switch brushes just for a second. But it feels amazing when people tell me that how much my videos have meant to them, because I'm not, no means was I ever setting out my life to become famous. And I don't think I'm famous now. I really don't say I'm a famous person or anything, I'm a YouTube star, YouTube sensation. No, I really don't think so. But it feels amazing whenever I go places and people are like, Jay. I'm like, yeah, how's it going? But the weird thing is, to be honest, it feels weird sometimes. And you feel like I have an eidetic memory. So I'm really good at remembering pretty much anybody who I've ever played against in a battle report, even people I've played against in real life, just not in a battle report. I remember their names. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I played against Scarredcast about a month and a half ago. And when I ran into him at a gas station. And he just saw me and he's like, we have to play. And I said, sure. But he kept saying, he would love to play me sometime. And I've played against him. And I remember the day I played against him and his army. And it was a doubles tournament. Him and his friend, he brought Dark Angels. His friend brought Blood Angels. No, sorry, he brought Dark Eldar. His friend brought Blood Angels. And I played Orcs. No, I played Orcs and my friend played Tyranids. And it was a doubles game. And I won Best Sport. And they won Best General. And it was awesome. But I remember the game. And I was like, dude, I've already played against you. He said, I don't think so. And I told him the game and the date. And he goes, whoa, you actually remember that? I said, oh, of course. I remember most things that I see in life. And to this day, I could probably guess correct, I'd say 95% of the names of people that I played against in battle reports. Now, a safe bet would just be the name Dave, because it seemed like one in every 3 or 4 people I played against was named Dave. But Dave's, I guess, a very common name. I love this, my track of thinking. As you can see how random my thinking is right now. It's just, I went from my time at Mini Wargaming to Dave's in general. But I can remember them, and I really do. Whenever I'm playing people, my focus is not only on the game. I love an entertaining, fun game. That's my favorite type of game. Entertaining, fun game. Fun to play, entertaining to watch, because I don't like the blowout games, personally. But when I'm playing a game, even at a tournament, I love to get to know my opponent. I love to know their story, their names, what the thoughts they put into their army, why they painted it a certain way, what got them into the hobby, where are they from, they travel far. And that's why I used to play a lot of tournaments. My first year back in Warhammer, I played 6 or 7 tournaments. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me. I'm a goofball. And I asked them a lot of questions. I learned about them. And the end result was I always won Best Sport. I could win. I could bring the cheesiest list I could think of. But I would always win Best Sport. And it eventually realized the reason why is because I was honestly trying to develop an actual relationship with my opponent. I wasn't just there to trounce them. I was there to have a fun game. And if I won, I won. If I lost, I lost. But I cared about getting to know them. And I think people recognize that. If you're a genuinely nice person and you genuinely try to get to know people, they remember that. And that's ultimately it. So that's, I guess, the key to winning, Best Sport. And I won Best Sport a lot. In fact, that big tournament, the one I met Scarcast in, I won Best Sport. And my friend and I won Best Sport out of 50 doubles, 50 teams. We won Best Sport. And then the next day, it was not about 100 people, it was 80 people, I think it was, 80. And once again, I won Best Sport. And it's just fun, because I'm like, all right, I can go and have a great time, and soft scores, gotta love them. Because, drop me in. because best sport, you win a prize. I'm like, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the key to winning best sport. Just care. You know, don't care about the game. Well, you know, don't be a jerk or anything, but don't just sacrifice yourself. But it's not about the win or the loss. It's never been about the win or the loss to me. It's always been about the game, you know, having a great time, and it may sound cheesy, but just sharing a moment, you know, like the first time I played against David Battaglia, Cody Rue, he's actually going to come and play with me soon. I think he's coming this weekend. But we had just the best freaking time ever. I had so much fun playing against him. And the funny part was we didn't know at the time that there was no audio on the camera. We played 4 turns of a 5-turn battle report, and there was no audio. Matt had used my camera earlier that week and turned off the audio because he was getting a double audio, one from the mic, one from the camera. And he forgot he forgot about it. I didn't realize it when I was filming. So we had the best time. It was awesome. And it's led to a really good friendship, you know. He's come and played me already another time. I met his son a couple months ago, and he's going to come play again. And that's what I care about. I just, you know, it's not about if he beats me or if I beat him. Also, orcs will always win because it's always an orc match, so that's always good. But it's about the game, and that's what I like. Now, some people are competitive, and if you're a competitive player, awesome. You know, you have the right to be competitive just as I have the right to have fun, and that's it. If you want to be a competitive player, great. You know, that's the thing about the game. It's also a competitive game. Right now, the competitive scene, though, in 40K is a little crazy, and it's hard to keep up with because seems like every other month the meta can be changed. Of course, right now, there's still the top armies. Are still the top armies from a few months ago, i.e. Tau and Eldar, the armies that shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. But the meta keeps changing at such a drastic rate, and then like Titans are now are allowed, or Imperial Knights are in, and so it's really hard to keep up with the competitive nature of 40K, and that's why Owen, like if you ever watch Owen's live show, Owen doesn't like 40K anymore because of that reason. He doesn't like the competitive aspect, and he feels that if there's no competitive aspect, there should be no game. Versus me, because I'm a fun gamer, and the fun, you can always have fun. The game will always be fun. Right now, it's as cinematic as ever. I really do like 7th edition. I think it's a great, it seems like a really just awesome FAQ to 6th edition. Plus a couple other things, but it's awesome. Another guy done. I should probably call it here. I'm getting a little thirsty, and my drink is in the house. I'm my workshop right now. That's not bad. See, this 40-minute video, I completed him. I painted the shirts of several guys like him, and then I got almost entirely done. Like these guys, the teeth. Like I'm gonna need to do the wash later. I'm just gonna focus in on them now. So, sorry. There we go. So these guys, look at that. How much work I've gotten done in this video. So now all I need to do is finish up the metallics on them, give them a shade, and they're going to be looking awesome. And they're almost done for the day, and then teeth and eyes and a couple other small parts. But they're on the way. And this is about an hour's time, so that's not too bad. And obviously, I usually go faster, but I'm not talking to a camera. So I'll just arrange this now and zoom out and go back to meeting. Hey guys, still here. I know it's a little dark in here. It's setting the mood. I don't know. But thank you so much for checking out this Painting with Jay. I hope you appreciated it. And leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you would like me to talk about in future paintings. I'm going to keep this painting series going. I'm going to keep you updated with how many points I've painted for my challenge. It's going to be orcs, as you saw for this month. But after this month, who knows? It won't be orcs next month because I'm going to remove them because I spent 1,000 points on orcs. So I'm going to, a whole month painting orcs. I want to paint something else probably at that time. So we'll see what happens in the future. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Painting with Jay. And I hope you paint along. Feel free, paint along and set your own goals. You guys should set your own goals for your painting challenges and paint along with me and see what happens. So leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you thought of the video, what you want me to talk about in future videos, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.